Hi everybody, it's Diane here. As you read, we're doing a final flip through of my altered book. Kind of bulky. It's really not too bad. If you walk around like this, it's fine. No, really, it's not too bad. I did take a lot of pages out. For my liking, I should have taken out a few more. Anyway, this was just a book, Radio's Golden Age, which I did try to sell on eBay. Nobody wanted it. I mean, nobody hardly even looked at it, so I don't think altering it is a big deal. I painted the cover. I added this side of a book. I don't know if you can tell, it ends right there. So I painted the rest, these two flowers, and then added that. It is sealed. Okay, so I started this July 18th, 2024. I ended it April 9, 2026. So 1 3/4 years. That's a lot of time of a person's life. I was petty enough to count. I didn't count this, or there's a similar page in the back, a short page, and then those photos. I didn't count those, but there's like 87 collages in here, so that's a lot. When I started, I wanted to make it real mixed media, real painty. That kind of didn't happen. I don't know why, it just sort of didn't. So this is an image out of this same book, actually. And I just left this. I thought it was kind of neat. So this was on the dust jacket of this book. It's Bing Crosby, Mary Livingston, Jack Benny, and W.C. Fields. So very painty. Okay, so then we moved on to no paint, which I did not do this in order of the book. I skipped around, so I don't know when. These are old ones, though. This is a lot of scrapbook paper, some magazine, washi tape. This is a playing card image here, some fabric, and not much fabric in here. You know, I'm human. You know, when sometimes you're working, fabric just doesn't cross your mind, or you know what I'm saying. Unless something is staring you in the face, sometimes you just forget about some of your supplies. As I've said before with books, I do try to kind of match the pages because you do look at them together. This is stenciling that I outline because when I do stenciling, it never turns out too great. This is Rudolph Valentino and Vilma Banky from a film, scrapbook paper otherwise, and some paint back there. This is an old playing card, a lot of scrapbook otherwise. This was off the internet. This is a sticker. And then the rest of this is all magazine. This little scrapbook here, this is actually an old negative. It's Theda Bara. That's Rudolph Valentino, if you don't know. I don't know, I think these are kind of cool. This is washi tape up here. As you can see, I carried the lightning down for her. This one I did recently. I was trying to kind of match this side. Anybody remember these sunglasses I had tried to use for a different collage? Didn't work out. This page was already done, but there was space down here, so the color was right, so I added that to this. This is scrapbook paper back here, and this is a fold-out accordion. It's glued in, so those are all mini collages on there, mostly magazine. Can you see? Are we glaring? That's sort of fun. Then I glued, I think it was about 4 pages together and cut out a little tiny bit. It's not, you can see, it's not flush in there, but that made it a tad less bulky. This side, this is a fabric sample in a catalog. So then I, took out drew out the leaves with paint, scrapbook paper. This is a fabric cluster. Okay. This is just sort of a throw it together. The pattern scrapbook paper over here was because of these pattern girls. I had cut this for some other collage, didn't use it. And then these are off a pattern. This was a sewing book. And I actually made this dress back in the day. I was pretty young, and I remember that little square in the middle there where the tie comes out of, I got it a little crooked when I sewed it. And even at that age, that bothered me. And we used up the fun because that was, you know, the 70s with the colors and all. This is an older one. It's Laurel and Hardy, of course. Teamwork, and then I left Bob and Ray on there. They were a radio, well, they did other things too, but mainly radio team. So teams, and this is all scrapbook paper stuff down here. It's pretty fun. And then this is Very Mod. That's an old magazine image. Playing cards here. These are mushrooms and a flower. I actually drew on, you know, a book page. You can see text through there with markers. Foiled washi tape. That's, yeah, it's bolder. That's cool. To me, that's very cool. All right, it's quite different. There are a couple 2-page things in here, not a lot. This is a magazine image. No, it was a note card. A note card. I added this bird here and then drew off the branches. Oh, I don't know what that was. I don't think it was scrapbook paper. I don't know if that was a note card or something too. But those are book page leaves, tissue trees. The bears were off a map, I believe. Yeah, this is a test for Diane's memory, which isn't so hot anymore. So then all the rest, this is all paint. I painted to, you know, make it match. That's nice. That was a lot of work. Nice. Theda Bara again, because I had found this image in a magazine, I believe, and it looked, you know, ancient Egyptian to me anyway, to my untrained eye. So I added Thea from the movie Cleopatra. That's off the internet, or off my printer, I mean. And a magazine ad of these doodad things, scrapbook paper. This is one of those sort of piece it together with squares. That's all magazine. That's nice. You know, I hope you don't mind me saying, that's nice. I'm sort of judging these more as a, you know, a distant party. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. This is an older one. A lot of paint on this one. That's a playing card image there. Some scrapbook. This one is different. This is a flower image, was out of an old book. And I just liked it, so I just wanted to put it in here. But, you know, you got to do something with it, right? And I don't remember now why, but it occurred to me to do this ribbon edging. It's, you know, I punched holes and actually like wove it through. It's fun. It's different. And then I did make sure most of these pages are glued together. You know, I would do one, skip a page, do one, and then glue it together. These are, I think, Amazon catalog stickers out of their catalog for winter. So, Christmas. So we made it very wintry, and some scrapbook paper images too then. Marker border, ribbon around, punch snowflakes. You know, that's easy to do. It's no great collage or anything, but it's fun. I like the colors. It's Nita Naldi and Rudolph Valentino. I put them together because they've made a few films together. This is nice. This is scrapbook paper with some spattering, scrapbook paper flowers. I remember having a little trouble finding a phrase for her. I wasn't sure what route I wanted to go, but we went a nice route. Rudolph here is one of the earlier ones. This is scrapbook paper. These are magazine images, paint. It's kind of fun. Those are his dogs. He had several dogs. This is pretty epic. I forget why I really wanted to do it, but this is an old book cover I have. So we made, you know, a Halloween page. This is washi tape, a lot of scrapbook paper. This is all paint. The trees I painted in. This black and white is scrapbook paper down here. That's cool. I like that quite a bit. Okay, there's a couple older ones. That's Rudolph again with his Doberman Kabar barking at him. That's actually on his property. That was his stables, which that's the only thing that's still standing of his house. They've turned that into a house. Washi tape, a lot of paint, just little magazine snippets. Now this is more like what I wanted to do in this book. You just, over a year and 3/4 time, just don't stick to it. Well, this is all paper, magazine. I did paint back here. That's pretty fun. Very colorful, isn't it? This is another one of those just piece it together square things. It's nice. I liked that word, that's why I went with that. This is scrapbook paper, scrapbook, tissue images here, scrapbook, and then I painted the sky. This is fun. This, neighborhood looking image here was on an old piece of junk mail. That's out of an old cookbook, believe it or not. Scrapbook, washi. And then I left all these names, sort of like your neighbors, get it? It's a family photo, obviously quite old. This is a bag back here, printed bag. Scrapbook, scrapbook. This W.C. Fields image was out of a magazine I had in my box for a long, long time. Finally decided to use it. I had done this one first, so I thought the colors sort of matched. Off a very old envelope, 1967. Magazine, scrapbook, one of those snarky phrases. Sounded like something he would say. This is out of an old book. And scrapbook, another snarky phrase. Put them together. Scrapbook. There's a lot of paint back there to take down the text. We just did this one. Some mulberry paper, magazine, washi. I still maintain you could use this border around this one, but there isn't around this one, so I didn't do it. This is washi tape here, magazines, railing, banister there. These are printed papers. That's nice too, simpler. That's nice. And speaking of simple, I found all these pictures, they're portraits, and then this radio Diane show had been called Husbands and Wives. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, I like this too. There's 4 things on there, But I don't know, I like it. This is nice too. Nice colors. You gotta love a lab. Okay, people, who is it? It's Douglas Fairbanks Sr. It's an old, one of those trading stamp, like S&H stamp pages out of a book. Scrapbook, scrapbook. That's an old invoice for something or other. Another one of these, put it together things. This one I added paper on the top and bottom to take up a little space. That's nice. It's nice too. Is it, Diane? Is it nice? Yeah, it's nice. These 2 are altered playing cards I did, I believe, before this, and decided to put them in here. Oh, this is kind of different. Diane did that asymmetric writing, which I hardly ever do. I don't think of that too much. I'm not great at it because I haven't done a lot of it. But I think here it works pretty well. Some washi. I just cut these out of paper to imitate that. That's scrapbook paper. That's cool. I like that. I'm losing my voice already. Excuse me. All right, there's Doug again. And I had done Charlie first. And this I like quite a bit. There's mulberry paper back here. Those are actually sequins. Just that picture, which I'm not sure if that's not an AI thing or something. I think I've seen almost all of his films. I don't remember when he's in the snow. So correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I liked it, whatever it is. So since I decided to put Doug next to him, and they were neighbors, so I left that. A lot of these do have a video. This one does. This one does not. But remember found these cars in an old ad. It was kind of cool. These are scrapbook paper houses. This was an old cigarette card that is quite enlarged. This one I did quite a long time ago, so that's why these are flowers I all painted. You know, I'm doing the painty stuff, and I painted the clouds. This was an image off of, I think it was like a junk mail. No, it was a library, local library, you know, newsletter. And started with that. So there's scrapbook paper behind there. So anyway, this I did to sort of match, obviously. This is all magazine. I think there's videos for these too. That's Theda Bara once again. She's holding a picture out of a magazine. Some paint. I think, yeah, it's all magazine here. So is this. Yeah, this is too. The narrow is washi tape. This, I take it back. This image was I'm not sure if it was a note card or an old collage sheet image. This one's kind of simple. I was sort of matching this. I had done this side first. This is an older one. Yeah, some paint seeped over from the other side. That doesn't really bug me in this type of book. If it bugs you, you could just paint over it with an off-white and take it out. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. This is all magazine with the exception of this is another little old invoice something or other. This is all magazine with the exception of these gray borders were from a stamp album page. What Build Your Own has to do with it, I don't know, but I like the color. All right, I'll give anyone a lot of brownie points if they know who that is. It's obviously an old picture. I'm thinking it has to do with music. That's David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. Anyway, I just really like that picture. So that's just all paint. It's him in all paint. I had done this one quite a while ago. I think there's a video for that. That's nice. That, I think with the exception of this blue, which that could be, yeah, no, that is too. It's all magazine. Nice. Wow, color. I did this one first. Yeah, I guess I work on the right first. It's another snarky phrase. That's a collage sheet woman, I remember that. Postage stamps. This floral thing on the side was off some kind of like label, like of yarn, crochet cotton, something like that. So I did this one to match. I had found this in a magazine and had it for quite a while. I finally used it. Flowers out of seed catalogs, and then this Votes for Women was another old collage sheet thing. That was kind of cool. These are older ones. I believe this was part of, these are old paper dolls of old movie stars from the 20s, and I wanted to do Rudolph Valentino, and I accidentally printed out the whole thing instead of just him. And this was, who is that? Norma Talmadge. And this was the cover of the thing that came in. It's an actual doily here. Paint behind. This is mostly magazine. I made these two stamps. These are scrapbook paper flowers. That's pretty cool when you think about it. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but yeah, this is a pretty vintage looking image, but I added lots of cool color and stuff. That's kind of a fun way to go sometimes. All right, name that girl. Now this one I did first on the left. That's Mabel Normand from the silent era. Scrapbook, actual stamp, actual postmark, scrapbook paper down here, little sheet music. And since I'd done her first, and I started to do, this is a magazine image, scrapbook, and I will say, I didn't, you watch the birdie, I didn't think of that first. I just thought, oh, there should be something sitting on there. And then as I'm looking for birds, I thought, oh, watch the birdie, get it. Anyway, I just wanted to do something with her and thought it looked like an older, image. And then as I was working on it, it dawned on me, these are all old negatives. So these are all people that worked with Mabel at one point or another. It's Minta Durfee. Oh, that's Charlie Chaplin. And they're all held on by washi tape. Ford Sterling. Roscoe Arbuckle, who they were married for a while. And I think this is Mac down here. Yeah, Mac Sennett. That's sort of fun. There's Theta again. We did this in a video. This was out of, actually, it's a book. Yeah, I turned right to it. That's what that girl was. It was either part of this or the next page. She's covering her ears from the thunder. It was a book about weather. So I'm never a calm blue sea. I'm always a storm. Fit her, a lot of her characters. This is all magazine. I did paint a little bit here. I did this one first, which you can see is kind of simple. It's washi tape. This is a purchased, it's not scrapbook paper, but it's like reproduction papers. I think it's old wrapping paper they copied. Old magazine image, scrapbook. So since we have cats, I decided I had this. It's this, scrapbook paper journaling card. Although I added the stripes to the cat. It's all dark. I didn't like that. So it's scrapbook, the rest of it's the marker dots, washi tape around. No, that's a rubber stamp that I colored. And that's a pain. You can see that's awfully small to get markers in there. And I've done that, I don't know, 10 times or so since I've had that. I'm tired of coloring Cheshire Cat. This is a more recent one, old catalog image. Scrapbook, an old lotto ticket fill out thing, I don't know what it is, out of a book, cookbook. And then I added these flowers. Well, the stem here, this flower with colored pencil, that's an actual magazine. Flower with sheet music back there. We just did this. This is part of the original book. These radio personalities. I didn't want to get rid of them. So I added scrapbook paper images and some markers. Okay, and this is an older one. This is that Rudolph Valentino paper doll I wanted to do something with. And so, in hunting around, I found this, and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like a 1920s car. Let's do that. So this is the paper doll, and it's on this. I added these, and I added a lot of this stuff. I drew in some vines and flowers up here. So then we made it like, this is his dressing room, and these are the clothes that came with the paper dolls. They're costumes from his films. It's all magazine. So it is a pocket down here. That's kind of involved for me. This one, it's tissue paper, trees here, and this I stamped. This was February 23rd of this year. I was waiting for spring. Oh, what were these on? Oh, these were part of freebie return address labels you get from charities, and they had stickers on it too. So those are all bird stickers. I put postage stamps out of a catalog underneath, and then flowers out of a seed catalog. Yeah, that actually, do you remember some video where I said I was working on something, a bird thing, but I was stuck? This is what it was, because I could not come up with stuff to put under there. At first I was going to put the stamps under there, and I forget why I changed my mind. I thought they were too small or something. So, all right, we'll put the stamps on here. Or I just thought these needed something on it. I don't know. And then I didn't know what to put underneath, and then, but in the end, it's fine. It's all paint, the color. Now these are simple. Diane likes these. This is an actual postage stamp. Otherwise, it's all magazine. This is all magazine and some paint. And I did paper over words here. This is a dyed paper of mine. Sometimes I would put paper over text, and sometimes I would gesso out. Depended on my mood, really. I did this side first. Anybody know her? She's a little more modern. She's a talkie actress, Anne Harding. And this stuff is all off one ad. I hope that's not cheating, but that worked out really well. So then this side I obviously kind of wanted to match. It's a little cross stitch I did, but never did anything with it. So I stuck it in here. The rest is scrapbook paper. This is construction paper. And then I did this border because, as you can see, it's just kind of things that are similar sizes. There was nothing holding it together. And that's colored pencil back there to kind of match this. This is an older one, and that's really simple. It's like this is one big image. I added this and then these big words, but you know, you got a big phrase to use. And then as this book was progressing, it was getting bulky, and so I cut a page. I thought that would be actually kind of interesting anyway, and it is, which I wish I would have thought of that before because there's none in the front. So I think I did this one first though. It's magazine images. That's an old decoupage image, old book page. And then this was kind of matched that. It's mostly magazine, catalog, old text again, paint. Yeah, there's paint. So then, yeah, I was saying you kind of have to match because you're going to see the lion. So this is out of a catalog, and this is the actual stamp folder. The rest is scrapbook, some rubber stamping. And not a lot of stamping in this book. I gotta hurry up. I have a timer gonna go off in like 3 minutes. This is an old paper doll dress I had out of a book. Well, it's a new book, but it's probably 15, 20 years old by now. It's Judy Garland. It was Child Stars. The rest is scrapbook paper. This is a magazine. It's kind of fun. We did this together. That's Abbott Thayer painting that I absolutely love. The rest is scrapbook. I did print that out, obviously. This is washi tape up here. We did this together. I forget. Oh, I had this for my sandwich page in the glue book. It was too big. So I found this quote, and we went with old bread boxes and whatnot out of catalogs. A scrapbook here. I just did this one. I was kind of trying to match. And I had that phrase, anyone who can fold a fitted sheet is obviously a witch. So I knew I had old sheets. That's an old Sears catalog. So, and these are scrapbook paper. So they kind of, go together. I've got like a minute. Let me pause and get my timer. Okay, this is Rudolph again. And since I found that phrase, we had lots of flowers out of catalogs. Pearl White, she was the Perils of Pauline actress in the silent era. And I found the pearl. You got to use that right. That's pretty. It's kind of different, Diane. Yeah, it is. Anybody know who that is? You probably know who that is. That's Carmine Appice. He's the drummer for Vanilla Fudge, although he did other things too, but that's mainly how I knew him. Rumor has it they stylize Animal after him, which if you watch him perform, I could see that. So I just thought that was kind of funny. These are stickers. This is all paint. And then, drums. And then we carried over. This page I had cut like the other one, except I got it crooked, so I kind of had to make it shorter to straighten it up. So actually, it's kind of fun though. So then I put their names over here. If you want to really be really clever, you could probably do something and make it match. I wasn't that clever. And I put this here because of this. I did this first, again on the right. That's an old note card image. This is tissue paper and then scrapbook. It's colored pencil around. It's pretty. Yeah, we used up all the fun. And here we are at the end. I decided to make the end like the front there, although I wish it had been here, but it's not. And I found end paper like about a month ago, so I saved it for the last page here. Right when I finished it, I might add a notes about doing this, I may not. And this is out of this same book. And I thought it was kind of appropriate. She's waving goodbye to a bird. And here's another accordion owl. It's just a one flip thing. I did do those together. It's fabric on the edge. It's kind of cool. And it's construction paper and scrapbook. Okay, that's it, folks. Yay, I think she's happy. I don't know, is she happy? I did paint in here too to make it match. So thanks for coming along with this. I hope you enjoyed it. It's, you know, it's a labor of love. It's fun. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a nice day.